What's up, folks? I just wanted to jump on here and make a quick video today for people that have been with my channel for a while, as well as anyone new coming here, just to share a little bit of updates in my life and where this channel is going forward. If you've been with me for a while, you probably noticed that I've hidden all my videos. So I had about 4 years worth of videos, somewhere around 50 or 60 videos, and that was primarily when I was focusing on working with men in kind of the personal development space. Talked initially about sexual transmutation, masculine and feminine energy, and then over time it kind of just became a general personal development channel. And YouTube's always been this beast that I've struggled with, and I've really wanted to put more energy and effort into it, and I have at times. I've even hired coaches and worked my ass off and had limited success, couple thousand subscribers, some videos that did 10 to 15,000 views, was monetized last year, but it never just really felt fully in integrity. It never really felt like it was the channel that I wanted it to be. And so there's been these seasons where I've continued to show up and try to give it a shot. And I want to share a little bit today about the direction of this channel, where I'm going with it, what you can expect, and kind of my transition and view on YouTube, what I want to create with it, and what I'm building going forward. And I'm making this initial video, none of the videos are going to be like this going forward, just as kind of a declaration, but also as something to put in the books that I can look back on in a few years as I grow this channel. So to give some context for those of you who don't know me or maybe new here, for the last 4 or 5 years, the better part of 4 years, I've been working in the men's personal development space, and started out studying under a teacher for many years, got a teacher training certificate, trained with a bunch of high-level coaches, and was coaching men in a lot of these realms that are really important to men, around their sexuality, around relationship, around purpose, around just building and embodying a more kind of sacred masculine life. And that culminated to building a company with a few men. I had 3 business partners a couple of years ago. And long story short, some of you heard this, but in late 2024, so literally just at the end of last year, I was suddenly and unexpectedly removed from that company. And so as the year turned over into 2025, I had to get really resourceful. I had lost what little income I was getting from there. I had poured all my energy, all my heart into that business, and it was kind of ripped out from under me. It was a real rug pull. It was really something that I had built, and we had found a relatively good amount of success in about the year and a half or so that we had been selling and building. We did about $250,000. I handled all the email marketing, a lot of the copy, sales page design, programming, etc. I had played a significant role in that business. And so that was a place that I really got to practice my chops on, what it's like to actually build something and start to scale it to some degree of success. But over time, there's a lot of disagreements, and I don't want to get into all the details about it, but I was pretty committed to building something great. I've always had this thing about me where when I do something and I'm really committed to it, like I want to do a 10 out of 10. I want to take it to the next level. I shoot on professional gear here in YouTube. I always go the extra mile to try to make things as professional, as deep, as valuable as possible. And this business, I had a big vision for it. I thought if there's 4 of us, we could scale it to well beyond 7 figures, make a ton of money, leave a huge impact, be really an elevated company, an elevated group in this men's work kind of space by just giving a premium product. And I knew what that would require of us. I knew the work that was cut out for us, and there was just a misalignment there of energies. The other guys just weren't up for that level of commitment, and it started to break down. Commitments weren't being honored. Things were being said that weren't actually done, and the business was being impacted by that, and it no longer felt integrity to me. Obviously, didn't feel integrity to them. Wish I had gone a different way, a little bit more honoring way to remove me from the company. And I don't want to get into the details around that. But all that being said, on January 1st, I was like, okay, well, here's an opportunity to put all the expertise, all the skills, not only in facilitation and coaching, etc., into my own business, to my own project, but all the vision I had around marketing, around how to grow something, around how to build email lists, around how to market on social media and create content, around how to run course and facilitate them. I finally had kind of this beautiful opportunity, despite all the heartbreak, to really make something that was mine. And since then, we're in early May right now. It's May 9th at the recording of this podcast, this YouTube video. I have built quite a bit. I did about $7,000 to $8,000 in my first month of business revenue. That was basically offering all brand new products, all brand new offerings. And I just launched my first cohort. It's a creative business cohort. It's called Feral Creator. It's for people that are kind of soul-led visionaries, healers, facilitators, giving them the frameworks, the templates, and really the philosophy, but also the courage in the community to build a sustainable, profitable online business that's actually built from their soul. It's not generic. It's not cookie cutter, and really leaves an impact and makes a difference, not only in their lives, because it's giving them the abundance and the freedom to be fully expressed in the world, but also the impact of the people they serve, really impacting the people they serve. And so I launched my first cohort of that at the beginning, kind of late April, and we did just under $33,000 on that launch, which was huge for me. It was the biggest launch I've ever had. I had the best month of business in April, signed a few clients at the same time, have some other cohorts running, have run a number of workshops. And already in this year, I've eclipsed all the revenue that I made with my previous business in a year and a half. I've eclipsed in the first 3 months of this year. And so what that did is it gave me the confidence and the proof and the evidence that, like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I have a unique way of looking at marketing, of looking at creation. I'm creating content like crazy on Instagram right now, and people are resonating with it. And I'm not following the traditional rules that everybody else does. I don't pull everything from a Hormozi book. I don't look at Expert Secrets and Russell Branson and Iman Gadzia, all these fucking YouTubers and all these guys, these business moguls who actually make their money selling you solutions that they're not always providing in their business. They're not always applying in their business. They kind of make their money telling you how to do business, but it's not the same way they do business. And one thing that I really pride myself on is the things that I'm teaching these students in Feral Creator are the exact same things that I'm doing right now. And I'm kind of showing them live how I'm doing it. I'm doing screen recordings of how I make content. I'm sharing with them the step-by-step, all the breakdowns of my launch, how many emails I sent, the conversions, everything, like totally open source, open book, because that's how I've always been. I've always wanted to build a business that was more like a fractal, where I'm not at the front of the room. And I really tried to push that in my old business. And I realized that wasn't resonant with them. They want to sit on sheepskin rugs in the front of the room and look down at everybody and kind of disappear after the session and hide out. And this isn't their fault. This is not casting stones at anybody. It's just the nature of a lot of this work. When people step into facilitator and coach roles, they put themselves on a pedestal, and then their students put them on a pedestal. And I just never want to do that. I always see things in a more holistic and fractal way, where it's just like, the money that you're paying me is just getting access so you can see me on my journey, right? So you can see exactly what I'm doing and mimic the steps and take what you like and leave what you don't, and take everything I share with a grain of salt, but get in the energy and the momentum of someone that's building something. And so all that being said, this YouTube channel is going to be that. It's going to be me documenting and sharing what I'm learning along the way, 5 years in as an entrepreneur, an online entrepreneur who's been doing it full time for basically 5 years, just under 5 years, who learned all this shit in the school of hard knocks, like learned it all on my own, learned it by failing, by launching more failed courses than successful ones. And now that I'm starting to hit consistent $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 months, I want to share that with people. I want to share the journey. I want to share the honesty of, like, it's not easy. There's no overnight success. There's no get rich quick. This is unscripted, obviously. There's no fast way to do this, and it's always evolving and changing. And my encouragement and my invitation to anybody that's on this channel, first of all, I just want to let you know that if you're here from my previous work, that this is your opportunity to unsubscribe, like to fuck off. And if you don't want any of this, if you're not interested in business and entrepreneurship and doing it in a soul-led, embodied way that feels good, that actually makes the world a better place, that's not extractive, and it's this endless need for more and more and more, yet is totally honoring and accepting and understanding that the more sustainable our business, the more money that we make, the more we can do, the bigger impact we can leave. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be just honest with everybody here. It's hard balancing being someone who feels so much, who wants to do positive things in the world, who wants to leave this world better than I found it and kind of step out of the sick system, while at the same time make a bunch of money. I want to make a bunch of money. I'm not going to say that I don't. I want to make a bunch of money. And the mission for me is to buy the land, get the cows, start up the regenerative ag project, the cultural fucking cornucopia, the culture meeting point, the commons for transformation to happen. And a lot of people, a lot of hippy dippy people say that like, oh, I want to get back to the land, but they have no money. And they haven't, a lot of these people have amazing skills, but they don't have the connections. They don't have the capacity to run profitable businesses. They just don't know how. And so I feel like I'm a way shower and an intersection in that of like, I'm a hippie at heart. I'm a fucking, I'm not all about the money, but I'm willing to be somewhat about the money for sure. And to make a lot of it and pour that into projects that are meaningful. I want to teach others how to do the same, right? And so those are my people. That's my avatar. We are these kind of awakened outsiders on the fringes of society. So I've been able to build a lot of this because of my following on Instagram. And if you're coming here from Instagram, just know that this is going to be a little bit of a departure. This YouTube channel is going to be specifically me talking on the business aspect of things, the philosophies, the templates, the frameworks. But really, it's like the energetics, the magnetism, kind of the soulful parts of like, how do you actually run a business in a capitalistic society that's still connected to soul, that's not faceless, that's not corporate, that's not shilly and gross and disgusting and non-needy, with your marketing and actually feeling good about selling services, selling your gifts, and giving the world your soul power and like how to access that. That's a big part of what I do as well, is how do we actually access this and how do we have the courage to stand in front of people who aren't going to understand us, who are going to criticize us. I've been through the ringer. Anyone who's listening to Undomesticate podcast, which I've hidden all those videos, but I'm going to post them to a new separate channel for Undomesticate listeners. I'm going to start to fire that podcast back up. I've been saying that for months, but I really want to use that more as a fun project just for me to have interesting conversations and then use this channel to really help people, right? Because there's so many profound souls with empty bank accounts. They got zero life skills, or they're spiritual entrepreneurs, and their idea of depth, right? Oftentimes these spiritual entrepreneurs, their idea of depth is like paying $50,000 to a business mentor to teach them how to sell depth. It's the pyramid scheme of depth online. And I'm just fucking sick of that shit, right? So this is about building real, sustainable, profitable businesses. Feral Creator, it's running right now, so you missed out on it. But if you want in the next cohort, my recommendation, it's going to launch in September, but my recommendation is that you jump below in the description. I have a link for a 14-day free email course called, it doesn't even have a name, but it's a 14-day free email course for creators who want to go from, not creating, or maybe not necessarily saying what they want online, or maybe they're just beginning, or maybe they're ready for a revolution in the way that they create, to kind of walking them step by step over the course of 14 days. It's totally free on how to create content, how to think about writing, how to think about thinking, how to put yourself in places and around people that inspire deeper connection with soul, and then the first steps in how to monetize that through workshops, through lead magnets, starting to build an email list, etc. And it's kind of a great primer for Feral Creator. The next cohort of Feral Creator is going to launch in September, and so I'll have some emails out to get on the wait list there. It's going to launch to the wait list first, but the first step is to get the 14-day creator course that I have in the link below. So yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and say like, hey, if that isn't for you, if you're here for the men's work content and all that kind of stuff, of course I'm bringing all the energetics and all the embodiment and everything I've spent the last 5 years studying through somatics, through ontological coaching, and then all the things that I've learned in the Hard Knock school of business. But that's not primarily going to be my focus, not the men's work anymore. It's primarily going to be business focused, strategy, things that I'm talking about, things that I'm learning, and really, like I said, an opportunity to sit with me, to follow me on this journey as I build this. And then eventually I'm going to look back on this video one day when I'm fucking sitting on my farm that I just bought. Cows are on their way, biodynamic preps are being spun and vorticeed, getting back to the land, erecting the temple, whatever that looks like, and starting to bring this work to that land. And today is the day that I'm making that declaration that it's going to happen. I'm going to use this YouTube channel as a vessel for creating business. So I'm going to be talking about business a lot. I'm going to be making invitations. I'm going to be making offers. I'm going to be selling through this channel. But mostly I'm hoping to give you the tools and the confidence and the courage to go out and step out into the world, online, in person, whatever it is. I've done it all, and create something beautiful and magnificent that actually shifts culture, makes you a fuck ton of money so you can start to make an even bigger impact in the world, live a healthy, vibrant, vital life, which we all deserve, right? And have the access to do the things that are most important to you without having to worry about money, and having the freedom and time to step outside the system and not be a cog in this big fucking disgusting wheel of the overculture, right? And so that's my commitment here. I'm going to do the best I can. Unsubscribe if that's not for you. But if you're here and you're already subscribed, hang around. There's going to be more videos. And also, if you're new here, welcome, right? And I'm excited to see you here, whether you came from Instagram or wherever else you came from. So we're about to kick things off. Thanks for letting me ramble for a few minutes here and just explain what I'm up to. I'm really excited to kick this whole channel off, and we'll talk soon. All right. Ciao.